We need to talk about the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin charts today. And before we get going, if you'd like to see more crypto content like this, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel out so much. Let's get right into it. First of all, let's take a look at Bitcoin. I really like this Bitcoin chart right now. This thing is actually really speaking to me right now. I love this. It came up to just over 70,000, didn't quite run for the high, and then we had 3 days of sell pressure that went right to my purple line down here at 66,936. Now it did wick slightly below it, but it didn't go any lower. And if we turn off the drawings here for a second, and we look here, right there on the May 23rd and the 24th, look at those wicks below. I really like those two wicks below with a reversal here, and we today are getting above the body of this red candle here. If we can sustain that, I'd be looking at this as a fairly bullish pattern right here. Now, doubly so because if we turn on the SMAs, we're getting, so what happened was we came down, 2, 3, right? Let me turn off the Bollingers. Let me turn off the Bollingers. Get those. Okay. So we came down just under the 5, and now we're peaking back up over the 5. The 20 is creeping over the 50. Now we could see this come back down and come towards the 20 and try to touch the 20, which would probably be here about 66,000-ish. But I bet it would probably be around the area of this wick right here, right? 66.5, somewhere like that. And as long as we stay above that 66.5, I'm feeling pretty bullish about this little move down and then back up again. Especially where we currently are in the cycle and where we're going into that summer kind of seasonality right now. Also, if we turn on the fib Bollingers, we're hanging out just above it, right? We came right into the fib Bollinger. This one, I believe, is the 382. Yep, the 382 on the upside. And if we bounce here, this could easily take us towards the 618, which is right up here, which is kind of like a special level here for a lot of traders at 76,735, which would be a new all-time high if that were to happen. I'm feeling pretty good about that, mostly because we're out of this descending channel, right? We came down, we tested it from the top, and now we're bouncing off of it, which also coincided with a fib Bollinger level, which was the 382. All we really need to do is get over and close over $70,000. Like if we can close over $70,000 and hold it for just a day or two, just like 2 days of holding over $70,000, I think that we can take out this high. And I'm looking at this and feeling pretty bullish about this whole sort of thing right here. This is feeling very good. Now, if we look at the weekly I don't love. Largely because that wick on top, but if we close over 70, like in the next, we got it 1 day and 5 hours to get over 70,000 and hold it there. That could, and that is very possible. Now that would be taking us towards the top of the fib Bollingers here on the weekly, but I'm not too concerned about that. Let me turn off those fib Bollingers. Let me turn this on. All right. Yeah. If we go into a 3-day, on the 3-day, I'm getting my little, on a 3-day chart, I'm getting my little arrow up here. We came down towards the 20, bounced off of it, and we got a little arrow up there. That is sometimes, often, not too bad. Last time we got a little green arrow was back here on February 6th, where we ran for, I don't know how, what, 90% or something. And where's another time I got an arrow? Here's my other 3-day arrow, which was back here on October 4th, 2023, which was followed by 6 days of sell-off and then a massive rally. Where's my other arrow? This green arrow was immediately followed up with a run, which gave back, but then a run again. Now, sometimes, like at the top of the range, this little green arrow here, it just kind of bled off real slow like. And we might see something like that, but I think the seasonality and the volume that's been coming through, you can see here, the volume is kind of tapering off a little bit, but if we can see this resurge, kind of like back here, where it just like started resurging again, I think we might see this go for all-time highs again on Bitcoin. Moving on to Ethereum. Let's take a look at Ethereum. I really like what's going on Ethereum right now. This is looking very much like a bull flag where we currently are. Let me get my drawing tools out. This area right here, I like the way that this looks. I like that it has a slight downward tilt to it. It is looking a bit like a pennant up here. And when that breaks, we'd be looking at new all-time highs very soon, or at least testing the all-time high here if that pennant breaks to the upside. Now, if it breaks to the downside, honestly, we're looking at coming down to like 33.60 at the highest point if it breaks to the downside, to be honest. And if it gives it back like Bitcoin did after its ETF was approved and it gives back like that full bar, we'd be looking at about 3,100, 3,100, 3,150. So we could see a bounce either at the 3360 or at the 3150 if the pennant breaks to the downside, which if we go back to Bitcoin, let me turn off this. If we go back to Bitcoin, we go to, when was it? January 11th, 2024, which is somewhere over here. There it is, right? Nope, I don't know where I am. Where am I? Oh, it's because I'm on a 3-day. That's why I don't recognize it. There we go. That's better. Right there. Haha. It's really noticeable on the 1-day. On the 3-day, not so much. But anyways, we had a similar sort of pattern, right? Where we were kind of had a slight downward tilt. We had 3 days like that. Ethereum now has had 5 days like that, where it had a slight downward tilt. And we're kind of hanging out near the top of the bar, which we were doing up here on Bitcoin. And then it went from the very top to the very bottom. It gave us a 21% dip over the course of, let's see, over the course of about 12 days after it was done. About 12 days, 21% dip, but then remember that was followed by a 90 some odd percent rally. So if we were to do that dip, that 20% dip from the top, which is here for now, 21% dip would take us just below that line, right at about 3111, if that were to happen. And then from there, and we got that 90% pump from there, we'd be looking at a $6,000 Ethereum. I know I mentioned that before, but I'm just bringing it up again. Ethereum could look really great. Here, I like this chart. If I turn on the Bollinger Bands, it's getting a bit hot on the daily. Let me turn off these. I was looking at Bollinger Bands before. Get out of here. Okay. It came into the 5 and could launch off the 5. Good. I don't know if it will. I think we'll probably see some cooling off here. We might even see a dip. I am kind of thinking a dip because crypto does love sell the news events. It just does. That's what I would be expecting now. But if price got up and above 38, 36, I'd be looking for it to move for that all-time high. So basically, this little box here, if it goes above or below this little box here, if below, obviously it's coming down. Above, it's going up. And then I'll lock that down on my chart, actually. Locking it down. There we go. All right, now let's take a look at Dogecoin. What's going on with Dogecoin? Dogecoin has been in this descending channel for quite a while here. We got a bit of an inverse head and shoulders printing. Let me get rid of this. Got a little bit of that inverse head and shoulders. We got a shoulder there, head there, shoulder there. We got neckline is about right here. Actually, neckline is a little lower. About right there-ish. Neckline's about there. Could be a little higher, a little lower. But I'm thinking, yeah, maybe even a little lower, like right there. If we really want to get, it's got to be angled. It's slightly angled. I'd be looking at it about right. About right there. Okay, so we're not quite there on the neckline yet. It needs to get above this neckline. It gets above this neckline. Honestly, we're coming up to like the 20, 21 cent range on Dogecoin. We are in an ascending channel here. If I turn on the SMAs, we came up off the 20, over the 50, came down back to the 20, and I'm launching off the 20 there. That's pretty great. Where is the 5-day on this thing? Oh, the 5-day, yeah, we're right on the 5-day too, which is 16 cents, 16.52 cents on the 5-day for that. Let's see some larger structure here on Dogecoin. Dogecoin, yeah, oh man, I like that a lot actually. Let me turn off some drawings here. Let me turn off the SMAs. I like this a lot actually. It's very scoopy. It's coming down and then scoop. I like that a lot. I really do. It likes to do those sorts of patterns and launch like back here. See how it came back here in October? It went up, came down, started kind of doing that scoop, and then a couple of days of like, it looks like it kind of wants to go up, and then bam, likes doing that kind of stuff. It really likes making little scoops that swoop up real high on crypto charts. So I actually really like this. Now I would be looking for it. So this, what we're looking at right now, honestly, to me, looks a lot like right here. Okay, looks a lot like right in this zone right here, right? Where it came up for about 6 days, and then we had 6 days of sell-off, and then we had 9 days getting back to the same level we were at, and then a launch. So that's what I'd be looking for now. At this point, I'd be looking for like the next 6 days to be kind of a sell-off back down to the bottom of this bar here, about 14, 15 cents. And then from there, I'd be looking for these smaller controlled buying sort of bars like this, right? Where they follow a trend line and they're really tight, right? See that? Looking at following the line, very tight, and then it launches. Let's see what that looks like on the daily, actually. Yeah, yep. So it's like really, really tight, and then you get one that launches out, comes back tests the top, does not go much further than the top. It could dip into the top a little bit, maybe even just a little smidge. And then from there, launch. I'd be getting in, right? So I would get in. If I were to see a similar pattern like this, I would be watching for this bar right here. I'd be watching for that bar right there. And I'd be looking for the next day. I'd be looking for the next day to have, let's go into an hourly. Let's see what the hourly looks like. This is what I'm looking for on Doge, actually. Let me go here. Yeah. That's beautiful. All right. I'd be looking for this sort of pattern, right? I'd be looking for it to have a sharp move down into or just tapping the top of my ascending line there. And then from there, I'd be looking for on the hourly chart, honestly, I'd be looking for a break of this level right here, which would have happened right there, right at 7 a.m. on Wednesday, February 28th. And then from there, it's launch time. So let me get rid of my drawings and look at that really closely. I'll draw a box around it. Like any of these three candles right here, any of those three would have been awesome to get in on. So we'd come back, tap the top, watch it start coming up. Now, mind you, these are all an hour. So you're watching it be just sitting flat on top of this thing for 4 hours before it comes up. It's out of that descending channel, right? This one's not technically out of it. This one is. I'd be looking somewhere in one of these candles to try to get in now. If you notice, it's looking a bit like a megaphone because this is kind of going up and this is kind of going down, and you don't know if it's going to break back down towards here. You could get in on these candles. Like you could absolutely get in on those candles, and what you would want to do is set a stop loss just right below this right here. So like maybe this one right there, because you want it to be slightly lower than this swing low right here, because price could very easily come back to tap that and then just run up from there. I see it on Tesla all the time. That's the best way I get burned by Tesla is it comes right up to the bottom of a wick like this where I'm like, yeah, that's where I should have my stop loss. And then it just launches off of it. And I'm like, what? So I've learned to go just slightly below it and see. And even if it taps it, I'm kind of okay with that. I need to see it like solidly go below it. So I'd be sitting there waiting. So I'd probably would get in on any of these candles, to be honest, and then wait to see if it comes this low, which in this case would have been 9.3 cents. And if it got down there, then I'd be like, okay, well, I was wrong, and I'll wait to see what happens now. And if I'm not wrong, I just keep holding unless it closes underneath that area. And if it doesn't, and in this case it didn't, it would be a launch, and you'd be really very happy with what you've done. So on the next time, what we're looking for is a similar sort of thing right now. So we're looking for price to, let's go back to a daily. We're looking for about 6 days of weakness, right? Maybe 6 days of weakness here, potentially coming out of this descending channel, or maybe just to the bottom of it. Actually, yeah, just to the bottom of this this ascending channel here at 15 cents and 15.83 cents is an area I'd be looking for, like there. That's what I'd be looking for. Let me make that white. That's how I like to make my entries. I'd be looking for that, and then I'd be looking for it to start coming up again from there. That's all I've got for you today, so please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.